All right, so picture this, that feeling you get when you step onto a university campus. Like that energy, the potential, the sense that anything is possible.
It's definitely invigorating, for sure.
So today, well, we're taking you to a place where that feeling, it isn't just a fleeting visit, it's like the everyday experience.
Oh, tell me more.
It's the everyday experience of working at the University of New South Wales.
Wow, the University of New South Wales.
That's UNSW in Sydney, Australia, just in case anyone's new to the show.
UNSW. I mean, academicjobs.com, they always seem to uncover some pretty cool places to work, and I have a feeling this deep dive is going to be no exception.
Oh, I think you're right about that. And speaking of gems, I was checking out their site, and academicjobs.com CEO Jared Kanize, he said that there's this thing about UNSW where simply walking into the quad, you stand tall. It's a thing.
It's true, and I think it's really incredible how much our environment can affect us. Just think about how a well-designed workspace can boost creativity, or how even just natural light can impact our mood.
Yes, for sure.
Like this whole standing tall thing, it really suggests that the campus itself might just prime you for success.
Yeah, right. It's like, the surroundings are giving you this subtle nudge, like, hey, you've got this.
You've got this, exactly. And what's so fascinating is that UNSW seems to extend that positive energy. It goes beyond just the physical space.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems like they've got a good culture there too, right?
They do. They really focus on their culture and into how they treat their employees. Their website really emphasizes that people are at the core of everything we do, and they acknowledge that their staff, the people that work there, are what makes UNSW a top university.
Which, I mean, it's true, right? Because they did snag a top 20 spot as an employer, in all of Australia, right? Not just universities.
Yeah, that's right. Out of every employer in Australia, they ranked in the top 20.
So, I mean, what does that tell you? They're doing something right over there.
Well, it tells me that they're really serious. They really want to walk the walk when it comes to employee well-being. And that kind of commitment, that's becoming huge, in attracting and retaining really great talent. People want to work for organizations that value them, not just for what they can produce, but for their overall well-being.
Absolutely. And it seems like they really do care about their employees. So, okay, so let's unpack what that looks like, practically. How are they treating their employees? How are they valuing them?
So if you go to their careers page, it goes beyond just the, kind of the usual stuff, and it dives into what they call life on campus.
Okay.
Which really highlights their commitment to employee benefits.
Okay.
So let's see what they've got here. Discounts, learning opportunities, flexible work arrangements, and a whole strategy dedicated to health and well-being.
I mean, it's actually really impressive when you look at this page. They've got, I don't know, it seems like they've thought of everything. So it's healthy body, healthy mind, healthy places, and healthy culture. Those are the 4 pillars of their well-being strategy.
That's right. And I think it's really smart that they're doing that, because these days, I mean, a good salary, that's just the starting point, right?
Right.
People are looking for an experience, a work experience that aligns with their values and their lifestyle, their overall lifestyle.
Right, and that supports them in that, yeah.
Exactly. It's all about work-life integration, right? You hear that everywhere.
You do. It's very trendy.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're actually tapping into that and offering this, comprehensive package that goes beyond just a paycheck.
Total.
So I'm curious, out of all of that, what stands out to you? What's the most unique part of their benefits offerings?
Well, for me, it's their focus on lifelong learning. It suggests that they're really not only encouraging, but they're supporting their staff to stay current in their fields, but also supporting their personal and professional growth beyond just their immediate roles. So this could include things like, tuition assistance for getting a further degree, workshops, even mentorship programs.
And remember, we're talking about Australia's #1 university for impact.
That's right.
So just imagine, having access to these kinds of resources.
At that kind of an institution.
An institution that's at the forefront of its field.
Yeah.
It's an incredible advantage for anyone who wants to keep learning and growing their expertise.
Yeah, and I think it's, it signals to the employee that they are valuable, that they're a valuable asset to the company, not just a cog in the machine,
Right. Yeah.
They see the value in their employees and their staff.
So it really does paint a picture of UNSW as a place where, you can have a great career, like a successful career, but also invest in your own personal professional growth.
Exactly.
Like, who wouldn't want that?
And I think that's really a major draw for someone, who's looking to thrive
Yeah,
in a dynamic, intellectually stimulating environment.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it does seem like they've cultivated that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Even just the language they use to describe themselves, like use phrases like quirks of our campus and attracting talent from all over the world. It just gives you a sense that this is like a really vibrant and diverse community.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely makes me think that they are very globally minded,
Yeah.
forward thinking. And I think that quirks thing, it kind of hints that there's a playful side to them, which, can be nice. It
Yeah.
can be a nice counterbalance to the sometimes serious nature of academic work.
Yeah. Right, right. Like, what are those quirks? I mean, I'm suddenly curious, like, are there secret societies? Hidden gardens? Maybe like kangaroo mascot tryouts?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not the last one, but you know what I mean.
That's a good one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did have a few surprises up their sleeve, though. Jokes aside, it makes you want to learn more.
It does.
You want to see what it's really like to be a part of this UNSW community.
Yeah. So I'm curious, could you see yourself, working in a place that describes itself as thoughtful, practical, and purposeful?
Hmm.
Because, I mean, that's how they describe themselves.
I mean, I have to admit, it's a pretty appealing combination. It suggests a real balance between intellectual rigor and a focus on real-world solutions. And I love that purposeful bit. I think a lot of people are looking for work that feels meaningful, like they're contributing to something bigger than themselves. And it seems like, UNSW seems to offer that.
In spades, yeah. It's like, come join us, do meaningful work, and have some fun along the way.
You got it. That's totally the vibe. And then when you think about where it is, Sydney, Australia, that just adds another whole layer of appeal.
I know. Sydney, like a vibrant city, cosmopolitan, stunning natural beauty. They've got, world-class dining and, oh my gosh, the beaches.
Right. I mean, come on. It's like they're offering the ultimate work-life balance package.
It really is tempting.
It is, but, we should maybe not get too distracted by Sydney. I mean, we still have a lot more to uncover about UNSW itself.
That's a good point. We've really only scratched the surface
Yeah.
of what makes this university so unique. So stay tuned as we keep going in our deep dive into the world of UNSW. We're going to explore even more reasons why this could be your dream university job destination.
Yeah, especially if you're thinking about moving to Australia.
Yes, and remember, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if it wasn't for academicjobs.com.
Yeah, shout out to academicjobs.com.
They're the ones who pointed us in the direction of this gem.
Absolutely. They consistently highlight these fantastic opportunities in academia.
Especially in Australia. They're such a great resource if you're looking to navigate the world of university jobs.
If you're looking to work at a university, you have to check them out.
Okay, we'll be right back with more insights on UNSW. So welcome back to our deep dive into the University of New South Wales. We're picking up right where we left off, exploring what makes UNSW such an amazing place to work.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that quad where, you stand tall. It makes me wonder if they've designed, like, the whole campus.
The whole campus.
To foster that kind of confidence and possibility.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, but maybe before we get too lost in, like, the architecture.
Yeah, the symbolism, yeah.
Let's talk about, the substance, the style, like we've been talking about.
Okay.
So, we've mentioned that UNSW is really dedicated to research, and they are ranked as Australia's #1 university for impact.
Right.
But what does that actually look like, practically? That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have the title, but what are they actually doing to make a difference?
Right, exactly. So I did a little digging, and I found that UNSW is like a powerhouse when it comes to renewable energy research.
Really?
Yeah. Like, they're developing some, like, seriously cutting-edge solar cell technology, and they're leading the charge in sustainable energy solutions.
That's amazing. And it's not just about, staying ahead of the curve. It's about, like, tackling one of the biggest, like, challenges we're facing.
The biggest.
Climate change.
Exactly. And their commitment to impact, it goes way beyond the lab,
Okay.
Their research is being applied to real-world problems, from developing drought-resistant crops to even improving, like, water management in urban areas.
Wow. So they're not just, writing papers and publishing them. They're actually, like, making a tangible difference in the lives of, like, people around the world. I mean, that's the kind of research that I get really excited about.
Me too. very inspiring. And it's clear that they're attracting some of the brightest minds, from all over the world to come work on these challenges. Their faculty, it has some like really big names, internationally renowned experts in fields like quantum computing, artificial intelligence, biomedical engineering.
Wow, it's like they put together like, I don't know, an all-star team of innovators.
Mhm.
And just, I mean, just imagine the energy,
I know.
the intellectual energy that must come from that.
To be surrounded by people who are, at the top of their field, pushing the boundaries of knowledge,
Yeah.
making breakthroughs.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be inspiring.
Totally.
Yeah.
And what I think is really impressive is that UNSW really fosters a collaborative research environment.
Okay, so tell me about that. What does that look like?
So they really encourage these like interdisciplinary projects.
Okay.
And they've set up these research centers that bring together people from all different fields to tackle these complex problems.
So it's not just about individual brilliance.
No.
It's like they're harnessing all these different perspectives
Collective power.
and expertise.
Exactly. And I think that's where, the real innovation happens, at the intersection of different disciplines.
Right.
Right.
It makes you wonder, like, what kind of groundbreaking discoveries could come out of these collaborations?
Uh-huh.
But, we also can't forget that UNSW is, a school. It's a learning institution. We have to, like, talk about the teaching and the learning part of what they do.
That's true. That's true. And, from what I've gathered, their approach to education is just as innovative and impactful as their research.
Interesting.
They seem to have, they've fully embraced the whole idea of student-centered learning.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Yeah.
In the classroom at UNSW, are we talking about like, the big massive lecture halls where you've got hundreds of students just passively taking notes?
No, not at all. UNSW has been like at the forefront of, bringing in active learning strategies and technology into the classroom. So they've moved away from that traditional lecture format, and they're encouraging their faculty to experiment, with more engaging, more interactive approaches.
So like small group discussions, projects, maybe even virtual reality.
Exactly. They're creating these learning environments where the students are really part of the process.
Right.
They're not just, sitting there being fed information.
Right, it's very active.
And that kind of engagement, it just leads to a much deeper understanding, and it helps them retain it better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're actively participating, you're way more likely to like actually remember it.
Yeah.
And connect with the material, yeah. But it takes a special kind of educator,
It does.
to create that kind of experience for their students.
You're right. And UNSW seems to recognize that, They've really put together a faculty that's not only like really smart in their fields, but also they're passionate about teaching, about mentoring the next generation.
So it's not just about having that PhD
No.
and the publications.
No.
You have to have that spark
That's right. You have to love teaching.
and be able to like inspire students
Exactly.
to love learning. Yeah.
And that's, you can't really measure that.
Yeah.
You can't quantify it, but it's so valuable.
It's so valuable, yeah. And what's really interesting to me is that it seems like they're going above and beyond to like support their faculty in creating those kinds of transformative learning experiences.
Yeah, totally. They offer a bunch of like professional development opportunities specifically for like teaching excellence.
Oh, wow.
And they also have mentoring programs. They even give funding for faculty to go to like conferences, workshops to, stay on top of things in their fields.
It's like they're saying, we're not just going to, hire you and throw you into the classroom. We're actually going to like give you the support you need.
The tools to succeed.
Yeah, to excel, yeah.
And I think that kind of support, it makes a huge difference, not only in job satisfaction, but also in the quality of education the students get,
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got like the world-class research, innovative teaching, a really supportive environment for the faculty. I mean, it's starting to sound like pretty perfect.
It does sound idyllic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we should be realistic, no workplace is perfect.
That's true. That's true. I mean, even a place like UNSW.
I'm sure they have their challenges.
Yeah, they probably have their challenges, but what matters is, how they address those challenges, what systems they have in place to support their people.
Exactly. And I think, that's something we can't fully know,
Yeah, from the outside looking in.
From the outside. But we can certainly say, good job, for being so transparent and for seemingly being so committed to creating this really positive and supportive environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're interested in learning more, Like what are the jobs like and the application process, stuff like that, you should definitely check out academicjobs.com.
You have to. They're amazing.
Yeah, they have a whole section dedicated to Australian university jobs.
That's right. And you can filter by the institution, the field that you're interested in, your experience level. It's really like if you're trying to figure out the world of university jobs, like that's the place to go.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe, your next deep dive will be like into your personal experience of working at UNSW.
I love it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, but we still have more to explore. So stay tuned as we go even deeper into like the practical stuff
The practical side.
about working at UNSW, like how much money can you make? What are the career progression opportunities like? Just like real nitty-gritty
Yeah, I
details.
need to know
Yeah,
that.
and maybe even some like insider tips for how to get a job there, how to apply.
How to navigate that whole process.
So we'll be right back after a short break. And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into the University of New South Wales. I have to say, I'm feeling pretty good about what we've learned.
Me too. They are doing so many things right. Like we talked about, their academics are incredible, but also they seem to really care about creating a good place to work.
Absolutely. So in this last part, let's dive into, some of the practical stuff.
The nitty-gritty.
Yeah, like the things that really matter.
The things that can make or break a job for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with the big one, money.
Okay. Everyone wants to know about salary.
Yeah. What can you realistically expect to earn at UNSW?
Well, it's, pretty standard. Like most universities, they have like a salary structure based on your qualifications, how much experience you have in the actual job. But from what I've seen, they seem to offer competitive salaries. I think especially for like those senior academic and research positions.
Which makes sense. They want to attract the best people and, money talks. But what about all those awesome benefits?
Oh yeah, the benefits are amazing. Don't forget about those.
Like, do they factor into the compensation at all?
Oh, absolutely. Like their healthcare is great. Their retirement plans are solid. They give you a lot of time off. And even things like discounts on gym memberships and entertainment.
Right.
Those perks can add up. And it gives you a sense of financial security.
Yeah, it's like a hidden bonus.
Okay.
But a good salary and benefits are great. But what about opportunities to, grow?
That's really important.
Like, is UNSW a place where you can build a career, like a real long-term career?
From everything I've seen, it really looks like it. Like they seem to really promote from within,
Rich,
and they
so
help their employees develop
I
professionally.
like that.
They get to investing in your employees. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But like, what are they actually doing to support career progression?
So many things like leadership training, mentoring, even financial help if you want to get another degree.
Oh, wow.
And they actually have like a whole career development center
Really?
to guide employees no matter where you are in your career.
That's fantastic. It really sounds like they're invested in helping people reach their full potential. Okay, but we can't forget about Sydney.
Ah, yes,
I mean, what an amazing city to live in, but how does that factor into, working at UNSW?
I mean, it's a huge perk. Just imagine you finish work and you can go for a walk along Bondi Beach. Or you can check out, they have incredible restaurants, or see a show at the Sydney Opera House.
The Opera House.
Yeah, like it's the dream.
That's the life. But Sydney can be pricey, right?
Yeah, the cost of living is high.
So did UNSW do anything to, to help people afford to live there?
I haven't seen any specific programs for like housing, but
Yeah.
the salaries are competitive. And remember all those benefits. That can definitely help.
Right, it all ends up.
And, you can't put a price on some things. Living in a city like Sydney, the culture, the people, everything it has to offer, it's really special.
Yeah, you're right. It's about that balance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And for people who are passionate about like making a difference globally, being in Sydney is amazing. It's
Right.
an international hub.
Right.
So many opportunities to collaborate with people from all over the world.
So, okay, let's say someone is listening to this and they're like, I'm sold. I want to work at UNSW. What's my first step?
Go to academicjobs.com.
Of course.
Honestly, they have the best selection of jobs at UNSW, and it's really easy to use. Like, you can search for exactly what you're looking for.
Yes. They're the best resource if you want to work at a university, especially in Australia.
Seriously, I can't recommend them enough. And, when you're applying, remember to really tailor your application to the specific job.
Okay, good advice.
Highlight your skills and experience and show them how passionate you are.
And don't be afraid to let your personality show. I
Yes.
mean, they're looking for people who are not just smart, but also good people who will fit in with their community.
Yeah, be yourself, be excited, and let them see your passion.
Awesome advice. Well, there you have it, our deep dive into the University of New South Wales. We've learned about their groundbreaking research, their supportive environment, and the amazing city of Sydney. I mean, it really does sound like a dream job.
It's been a fun one to research.
It has been. So if you're ready for your own Australian adventure, remember, academicjobs.com is the place to go.
They have tons of jobs at great universities all across Australia, including UNSW, of course.
So what are you waiting for? Go check them out. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
See you next time.